So here we are, kiddies, just a week until Christmas. I should already be balls deep in my festive whiskey supplies, not reviewing smartphones still, but hey-ho. Say hello to the Vivo X200 Pro, one of the final phones to launch here in Blighty before 2024 finally pisses right off. It's another flagship rival to the likes of Oppo's Find X8 Pro, powered by the same uber beefy Mediatek Dimensity 9400, boasting a massive fast-charging 6000 mAh battery, and a clever bit of Zeiss camera tech. But is the Vivo X200 Pro really all that? Well, I've had my SIM stuffed in there for well over a week now, using it as my full-time phone, so here's my review. And for more on the latest and greatest tech, please do poke subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, gotta say, the Vivo X200 Pro is an absolute chunkster, and it is proper hefty as well. Whenever I've got this thing stuffed in my pocket, it kind of feels like somebody sneaked a house brick into my pants. And from the front end, it is incredibly similar to a lot of other recent flagships, including that Oppo Find X8 Pro and the OnePlus 13. You've once again got a quad curved screen, so it's slightly sloping on all four edges, just giving the impression that that display is hovering above the rest of the phone. As you can see there, pretty skinny bezels as you'd expect from a flagship, and a weenie selfie cam orifice. So that front end's pretty much all screen. You got yourself a shiny brushed metal frame, which is thankfully highly smudge resistant. You fondle this thing as much as you like, it doesn't get all greasy and grimy. Unfortunately, the same can't quite be said for the frosted glass back of the Vivo X200 Pro, although Vivo's design does a reasonable job of masking the worst of those greasy prints. Just need to give it the occasional bit of sleeve buffing just to keep it looking as neat and tidy as possible. More concerning is the fact that that back end is incredibly slippery, which certainly doesn't help with the grip situation, but help is literally at hand, courtesy of the absolutely friggin' enormous camera bump. I mean, let's face it, it's not really a camera bump, it's more of a camera tumor. One that's got wildly out of control, but it does work as a handy finger shelf, so you can just rest it on your pinky there. Very useful for one-handed use, makes it a lot more comfortable and helps prevent the Vivo X200 from flying out of your grasp. And the Vivo X200 Pro comes in three colour choices. You've got this here, titanium, otherwise black or blue, and I definitely prefer the blue of this trio. It's just got a bit more going on. This titanium model, it's just not really doing anything for me. It just looks a bit plain, a bit bland. Absolutely nothing going on down there, nothing at all. But touch wood, the Vivo X200 Pro seems pretty rugged in my time with it so far. Not a single scratch, scuff, nick, anything to speak of in the back end or the frame. You've got a screen protector slapped on that front end, and like the Find X8 Pro, this is IP69 rated. So with water, no worries at all. It can be dropped into a fish tank, a bath, a jacuzzi, whatever you fancy that's wet. Give it a good toweling off, should be right as rain. Could also withstand powerful jets right to the face. So yeah. Now I've had no troubles whatsoever with the built-in fingerprint sensor here on the Vivo X200 Pro. It's an ultrasonic effort, so it takes an accurate 3D map of your print, as you can see there. It's super responsive, and I've had no issues with it even when my hands have been a little bit wet, a little bit grubby. And you've also got a tasty bit of face unlock as a backup, which works well even when it's pretty dark. And on the software side, what you have here is the latest freshest Android 15. You've also got the FunTouch OS launcher slapped on top, certainly the best named launcher. Although I don't quite get on with it as well as I do, Color OS or Oxygen OS, for instance. Good news is it doesn't mess around with the stock Android vibes too much. You've got your Google Discover feed, you've got your apps tray, you've got your drag down notifications bar with all of your toggles. But the settings menu certainly still needs some love. Can be a bit tricky to find some bits that you're searching for, and some submenus like dynamic effects just look incredibly bland. Although I do very much appreciate having the option to change up all of these animations and different options. And certainly one of FunTouch OS's strengths is the ability to customize all of these individual animations and pretty much everything else that you come across to a pretty stunning degree. Unfortunately, the Vivo X200 Pro is absolutely loaded with crapware. I wanted to instantly delete all of it off, but I kept it on here so I could show you in this video the likes of Trip.com, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of the usual offenders, Agoda, I still don't even know what that is. Kiwi Blizzarder. Now I'm going to do what I wanted to do over a week ago and actually bin all this bollocks. And of course you've got a secondary app store and all this crap as well, which I've just ignored. And also some of the most loin-girdingly fantastic features of Android 15, which I really enjoyed on the Pixel 9 series smartphones when they finally got that update, simply aren't here on the X200 Pro, like the brilliant audio sub-menu pop-out thing. It's just the boring standard Android one. On the flip side, FunTouch does add a couple of extra features which are pretty damn good, including a dedicated gaming mode, which is miles better than the pixely Android one. Unfortunately, the software support is somewhat lacking on the X200 Pro compared with its flagshipy rivals from the likes of Oppo, Google and Samsung. We're talking just 3 Android OS upgrades and 4 years of security and software patching here. And of course that's not terrible by any means, but it is worth bearing in mind if you don't fancy upgrading your blower for a good wee while. And also you don't get as much AI shenanigans here as some other flagships. You've got the standard Android googly stuff like a bit of circle to search. And of course, War Great Mate Gemini. You've also got yourself an AI photo enhancer, which to be perfectly honest, doesn't really do a huge amount. Although if you really can't stand other people, the AI erase feature is fantastic as always. Can turn even a busy London scene into something vaguely apocalyptic. As for the display, well, it seems to be almost the same screen tech as the old X100 as far as I can tell. It's another 6.78-inch AMOLED beast, 2800 by 1260 pixel resolution. So even though it's a proper whopper, visuals are sharp when you're kicking back with a movie or whatever. You can pick out the finer details in your photos. You can stream HDR10 Plus content, and this time the X200 serves up Dolby Vision support as well, something that the X100 seemed to lack. I found the screen was fine, comfortable enough for low light use, and no issues in bright daylight either. This thing is powerful enough to counter any kind of pesky glare. Its LTPO tech scales all the way up to 120Hz down to 1Hz. And you've got 2160Hz PWM dimming, as well as various eye protection modes to keep your peepers from fatiguing. And the X200 Pro's stereo speaker setup is a bit of a banger as well. Just max out that volume, show it off. Oh, it's that most glorious, wonderful time of the year again, kiddies, where it's socially acceptable to be face drunk at just gone noon. So plenty powerful enough so you can actually hear what's going on, even if you're working away in a busy kitchen, you can't be bothered with Bluetooth, headphones, or any of that stuff. Just jack up the volume, job done. There's bugger all support for Dolby Atmos, etc. What you've got instead is Super Audio, which performs a similar sort of function, tweaking the audio output to match whatever you're up to at the time. But the performance was one of the areas where I really wanted to put the Vivo X200 Pro through its paces, because it's powered by Mediatek's Dimensity 9400. That's the same chipset that was stuffed inside of Oppo's Find X8 Pro, and it was absolutely sterling in that excellent performance, even when gaming on the most intensive titles. And that's backed in this blow with a hearty helping of RAM, 16 gigs in total. The good news is that everyday shenanigans are absolutely smooth as you like. And yes, indeed, when you do blast through a good bit of Wuthering waves and other really demanding Android titles, the Vivo X200 Pro can absolutely hold its own, no worries. You can max out those graphics settings, bump everything up to the top level, and still that frame rate stays pleasingly fluid, pretty much sticking the entire time to around 60 frames per second. And thankfully, while the old X100 phones used to heat up pretty badly after you'd been gaming for only about 20 or 30 minutes, no such issues here. The phone was certainly warm to the touch after an hour and a half of gaming action, but it didn't get any hotter than that. Certainly didn't heat up to a troublesome degree, even if it didn't stay quite as cool as that Oppo Find X8 Pro. And yeah, as previously mentioned, you got that dedicated FunTouch OS gaming mode. This could help to boost the performance. You've got the visual enhancement tool, which supports Wuthering waves. Just made those visuals a little bit brighter, bolder and poppier. You've got quite a few other tools stuffed on here as well, including frame rate boost and super resolution modes. Sadly, neither of those supported on Wuthering waves. And of course, you've got plenty of other tools like the usual notifications, blocker type shenanigans, and an esports mode which activates most of the settings to keep your game running smoothly with zero distractions. And when it comes to the battery tech, well, this kind of partly justifies the fact that the X200 Pro is an absolute chunkster, because you do get a whopping great 6,000 milliamp hour capacity cells stuffed inside of that thick old chassis. And that's one of the largest capacity batteries you'll find in any blower out there outside of, dedicated gaming smartphones. So unsurprisingly, the battery life was very good indeed. I finished most days with around 30% life remaining. That's with standard use, so 6 to 7 hours of mixed use, including video streaming, audio streaming in the background when the phone was hibernating, fair bit of camera play, etc, etc. The only day where I pretty much wiped this thing out from 100% down to 0% just before I got to bed was a quite intensive day, to be fair. I did spend around an hour playing Wuthering Waves. I also spent about half an hour Skyping the family. And again, plenty of audio streaming even when it was hibernating as well. So if you are a power user, more demanding than the average folk out there, well, definitely Vivo X200 Pro should satisfy. When you do need to juice this phone back up, well, it's actually a slight downgrade for the charge, and you've got 90-watt flash charge support here on the Vivo X200 Pro. But let's face it, despite the large capacity battery, it still fills up pretty nippily, certainly compared with a lot of rivals from, Google, Samsung, etc. You've also got slightly slower wireless charging than before at 30 watts. But the main problem I had with the X200 Pro was whenever I stuck it on the charging stand, it wouldn't form a good connection. I'm guessing because of the stupidly bloody massive camera bump. So it was cables all the way for me, sadly. Now, Vivo's Zeiss collaboration is still going strong when it comes to the camera tech, and that's good to see because these two go together like crumble and custard, or James Corden's face and a massive hammer. And those optics have actually changed up quite a bit here on the X200 Pro versus the previous generation. So for one, this is the first smartphone to sport Sony's 50meg LYT-818 sensor. It's not quite as large as the 1-inch sensor crammed into the older X100 Pro, but I found that low light shooting is still very good on this smartphone, if not quite up there with the very best of them like the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Ambient conditions occasionally result in soft-looking snaps with warmer tones, but the focus can generally handle any kind of scenario, while a little bit of sharpening adds the impression of finer details when the lighting conditions are pants. Now bear in mind a couple of things before you start shooting with the X200 Pro. First of all, the watermark is switched on by default. If you don't want that great big whopper to be at the bottom of every photo you snap, you'll want to knock that off. Although personally, I find it pretty handy when I'm reviewing smartphones because it does tell you exactly what focal length, etc. you've used. And also bear in mind that the shooting mode by default is set to vivid. And if you want to, you can just tap this icon and swap to Zeiss Natural if you want a more realistic looking image. The vivid mode does accentuate some tones, so skies are a bit more blue if you actually have blue skies in your country. Plants are a bold green color, food looks even more enticing, etc, etc. And Zeiss has once again added its T-Star coating to these lenses to help prevent flaring and other light-based issues. It's certainly more effective than the iPhone's supposedly improved effort. And as well as that primary LYT shooter, you've also got an ultra-wide snapper. It's a 50meg Samsung JN1 sensor. And you got autofocus, so you can shoot some crisp-looking macro shots as well as more dramatic photos. And as for the old 50meg telephoto shooter, well, it's been upgraded for the X200 Pro to a 200meg snapper using the HP9 sensor, and it's an absolute corker. You will notice a pretty clear and obvious change in tone at times when you pinch in beyond the 3.7 times level and the telephoto sensor takes over. But even at night, the results are pleasingly crispy. Yes, there is once again some pretty obvious sharpening shenanigans going on, but this is one of the most fun and effective zoom lenses that I've played with in recent times. It's particularly great for snapping portraits of your kids, your cats, etc. In fact, the Vivo X200 Pro spaffs out great looking portrait shots across a range of focal lengths. And you'll generally even get quite sharp looking pics in softer light, helped by the accurate eye autofocus with a wide selection of bokeh effects. And Vivo's upgraded V3 Plus imaging chip means you've got upgraded 4K cinematic portrait video smarts on this bad boy as well, which can just help to blur out the background, keep you fully in focus. That works at 4K resolution at up to 30 frames per second. And just like Oppo's Find X8 Pro, you can shoot 4K resolution footage at up to 60 frames per second with full Dolby Vision support, and that's across all of the different lenses. Otherwise, if you're not bothered about Dolby Vision, you can record 4K resolution footage at up to 120 frames per second, or even boost the resolution to 8K at 30 FPS. And just like Oppo's mighty mobile, the Vivo X200 Pro does a bloody good job with video. Even at night, most of my footage came out pleasantly crisp at that 4K resolution, only getting soft when the lighting wasn't fantastic. And yeah, occasionally I did struggle to tell much difference between my HDR video and just regular footage shot on the X200 Pro, but poking Dolby Vision when you're shooting high contrast scenes can help just to add a bit of depth to the visuals. Stabilization is certainly good enough to move and shoot at the same time, and the audio pickup seems to be a little bit cleaner than before as well, especially when it's quite gusty. And with the 32 megapixel selfie camera, you can once again shoot 4K resolution footage at 60 frames per second with the full Dolby Vision support. Although if you swap to the portrait video mode for that lovely, tasty, sexy bokeh style effect in the background, well, this time you're limited to full HD resolution. And that selfie cam is fine for shooting your everyday pics, nothing particularly revolutionary here. And as I mentioned before, you've got a couple of AI-based tools for editing your pics. The AI Eraser, particularly good at eliminating any stragglers from the backgrounds of your photos, but apart from that, it's basic fare. Certainly nowhere near as good as what you'll get from a Pixel smartphone, and even the Find X8 Pro offered a few extra bits on top. And anyway, there you have it, my lovelies. That is my full Final Frank Vivo X200 Pro review. And overall, is an absolute cracker. A Christmas cracker, if you will, because as I said before, it's a bloody week until Jolly St. Nick squeezes his bulbous arse down our chimney holes, and I really should be deep into my cups already. But anyway, what I recommend this blower, well, certainly if you see it at a good deal cheaper than the likes of the Oppo Find X8 Pro, etc., I would say snap it up in a heartbeat. The performance is fantastic, the battery life is excellent, you've got gorgeous screen tech, very similar design, certainly from the front end to a lot of other flagships, though the arse isn't quite as appealing. And the camera tech is also a bit of a banger as well. Certainly as far as the telephoto smarts go, I'd say it's one of the better ones out there that I've tested recently. However, I've got to say personally, I don't get on with FunTouch, despite its awesome name, quite as well as I do with the likes of Color OS and Oxygen OS. So certainly the OnePluses and the Oppos, etc. have an advantage there. I also personally prefer just the stock Pixel experience. Anyway, that's what your Uncle Spurt reckons. But it'd be great to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do poke, subscribe, and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Hopefully, no more frickin' smartphones before 2025, but we'll see, eh? And have yourselves a bloody wonderful rest of the week. Cheers, everyone. Love you.